Joining me now is the New York Post's editor-at-large, Kelly Jane Torrance. Kelly, thanks so much for joining me. The US House of Representatives has finally passed a vote to end the longest government shutdown in America's history. Now, this vote allows a short-term bill to reopen the government after a record 43 days. Take a look as the president blasted the Democrats as he signed off on the bill.
They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid, and the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately. I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country.
Kelly, it's finally over, but what happens now?
Well, great question, Caroline. And everybody here seems to be saying our long national nightmare is over. But I think your average American it wasn't as obsessed with this drama as everybody in New York, where I am, of course, and Washington, D.C. were. It is going to take some time to get back to normal, the pre-shutdown normal. Obviously, with flights being canceled, delayed, that sort of thing, that has a domino effect. And so it's still going to be days more of delays. And of course, Thanksgiving coming up toward the end of the month here in America. So they should have it wrinkled out by then. But certainly the next few days are still going to be a bit crazy. And then, of course, getting the food stamp money to the beneficiaries, paying the government workers, this stuff all takes time. But politically, where do we go next is the question. The Democrats, really were trying to play chicken and utterly failed. They did this. They shut down the government, creating a certain amount of chaos just because they were upset at the ending of Obamacare subsidies that were actually put into place temporarily during COVID. Supposed to be temporarily, but that never happens when you expand a government program, does it? And also talking about giving up subsidies to people here, from other countries, possibly illegally. So the Dems really have egg on their face. They didn't get anything out of this except headlines.
Well, the Democrats and the Republicans, they've both been at loggerheads for weeks over who was to blame. It seems to me like it's pretty clear, like you point out, the Democrats were the ones that dragged this out for some, unbeknownst to us, at least it's not obvious, political reason. And it does seem like it was the Republicans who finally got the job done and ended all of this. How did they manage to do that?
Well, timing was part of it, Caroline, and that's when the Democrats were finally willing to give in, and that was after the elections. Last Tuesday, we had a bunch of elections, obviously not presidential, but there were some seats up for grabs, some governorship up for grabs, and of course the Democrats wanted to use this shutdown in the hopes that it would help them, and it actually did. But that may be a very short-term gain, and we don't know if how much the shutdown really had to do with their wins, given that, in some cases the Republicans didn't have the greatest candidates in some races. Others, it was going to be an uphill battle for Republicans to win anyway. So it's unclear really how much that had an effect. But that's after the elections. The Democrats were a little more willing to give in. And once you saw this travel chaos getting worse and worse, and if it was going to bother Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving is one of the biggest travel days of the year here. I think more people I know go to visit their family for Thanksgiving than even do on Christmas. And so they certainly didn't want that chaos ruining the holidays for millions of Americans.